Welcome to Practices from the Road. I'm Dr. Jenn Lane. These practices are inspired by my desire to teach and share regardless of place and time. I invite you on a journey out into the world and deeper into your body. Today I greet you from Rancho Oso, a beautiful RV park in the mountains above Santa Barbara. So let's begin right away. Connecting in with your breath. Take a comfortable seat and breathe in through your nose. And exhale through your mouth, jaw relaxing, throat and neck, shoulders relaxing. Inhale through your nose, filling up belly and heart space. Exhale through your mouth, relaxing through the layers of skin and muscle, bone. And one more deep breath in through your nose. And exhaling through your mouth. Reach your arms up overhead, reaching towards the sky. Exhale, bring your palms together into your heart, bowing to your heart. And bring your hands down to the mat and let's start on all fours. So place your hands shoulder width apart and place your knees hip distance apart. Begin by arching and rounding your spine, moving through cat and cow. Feeling for articulating through every vertebra of your spine. So there is a sense of moving and undulating from the tip of your tailbone all the way to the base of your skull, where your occiput articulates with your first cervical vertebra. And let's take a couple more of these. And then allow these to become more fluid and circular in motion, circling your hips to the left and scribing big circles in the space around you. Feeling into the space also within you, where bones press against muscle and muscle hugs into bones. And after a few circles to the left, switch directions, moving your hips around to the right. Allow your shoulders and your neck to also be involved in these circular motions. So there's a fluid sense of movement throughout your whole spine and throughout all of your limbs. And you can let your eyes close or just be very softly open. Come back to a neutral spine. Hug the mat with the pads of your fingers. Tuck your toes and lift your knees. Come to a bent knee, downward dog. Knees bent so the hips are free and the lower back is long. And then you can articulate through the knees and ankles as you alternately bend one knee and the other knee. Here, allowing your hips to shift and glide from side to side. Feeling into the backs of your legs, your hamstrings down through your calves and into the bottoms of your feet. And climb up high onto the balls of both feet. Again, bend your knees, sending your hips up and back. Inhale forward to plank pose, shoulders over your wrists. Then exhale, bend your knees, move your hips up and back. Inhale, plank pose. Neck is long. Exhale, bend your knees, move your hips up and back. Let's do one more. Inhale, plank pose. And now bring your knees, chest and chin down to the mat. Gazing forward, scoot your hips forward, come to cobra pose. Inhale. Then exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under. Lift your hands up from the mat. And again, lift your chin, lift your head up from the mat. And then lightly tap your chin down to the mat. Inhale, lift your feet, knees bent. Inhale, lift the chin up. Hold here, reaching up through your elbows, reaching up through your shoulders, getting a nice engagement of the paraspinal muscles, feeling your lower back strong, middle back strong, neck strong as your chin draws back towards your throat. And bring your toes down to the mat, hands down to the mat. Lift up, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale. Move back to down dog. You can keep the knees straight if you like this time. And come down to all fours. From all fours, extend your left foot back and lift your left foot from the mat. Hug the inner thigh towards the midline. Lift through the inner thigh. Draw in through your lower belly and knit your ribs together. From here, reach your right arm forward, so you have an opposition of the right hand reaching forward and the left leg reaching back. Lift through your thumb, lift through your inner thigh, and hold here a few breaths. Feeling for keeping your pelvis neutral as you can, your shoulders even as you can, and a steadiness through your breath, through your body. Take your right hand down to the mat, keep your left foot up, and lift to a three-legged down dog, inhaling as you move back. Draw your knee into your chest, exhale, shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, reach up, three-legged dog. Exhale, draw your knee into your chest, shoulders over wrist, round through the thoracic spine. Inhale, reach up and back. One more, knee in towards your chest, draw in and up, and reach your leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. And keep your leg high, come forward into plank. And lower down to chaturanga. You can lower the right knee down for support. Then rise up to cobra pose, inhaling, shoulders back, elbows back. And exhale, touch your chin to the mat, tuck your toes. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, reach up and back through your hips, downward dog. Come down to all fours. Reset, neutral spine, knitting your ribs together. Then extend your right foot back and lift through the right inner thigh. Hug inner thigh towards the midline to create connection, anchoring through your pelvis. And then again, push into the pads of your fingers, knit your ribs together, establish a strong connection to the core. From here, reach your left hand forward, lifting through your thumb so you have external rotation through your shoulder. Feel the opposition of your foot reaching back, your hand and fingers reaching forward. And feel for creating a neutral spine, hips and shoulders level. Couple more breaths. Finding that steadiness, that strength. Reaching forward, reaching back. Take your left hand down to the mat and lift up to three-legged down dog. Exhale, draw your right knee towards your chest. Inhale, reach up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, right knee in, shoulders round. Inhale, reach up, three-legged dog. One more, draw your right knee in. Inhale, reach up and back, three-legged dog pose. Keep your leg lifted, come forward into plank. Lower down to chaturanga. All 10 toenails down on the mat. Rise up to cobra. Inhale. Exhale, push up and back to downward dog. Climb up high on the balls of your feet. Bend your knees. Gaze forward to your hands, and you can walk or hop your feet forward. Inhale, rise up to the tips of your fingers, gaze forward. Exhale, slightly bend your knees, rock your weight back into your heels as you bow. So you have a nice length through the lower back here. Inhale, rise to the tips of your fingers, gazing forward. Exhale, shift your weight back into your heels to bow in. And bring your hands to your hips, lift through elbows, shoulders. and rise all the way to standing. Reach the arms up overhead into Urdhva Hastasana, gazing towards the sky. Exhale, bring your hands together to your heart. One of the wonderful things about practicing outside is you get to see nature all around you, all the birds floating, flying around. It's really beautiful. Reach the arms up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise to the tips of your fingers. Keep your knees soft. Step your left foot back into a lunge. Keep your left hand down to the mat and lift the right arm up to the sky, coming into a gentle twist. Gaze towards your fingertips if it feels good on your neck. If it doesn't feel good on your neck, then look down to the mat. Either way. Feeling for opening across the chest, extending through your spine. And then bring your right hand down to the inside of your foot. Walk your hands a quarter of the way around. Rise up to the tips of your fingers. Inhale. Exhale. Rock your weight back into your heels. Just light bend through your knees and reach the crown of your head down towards the mat. Take a couple breaths here. I like to rock my weight more into the outer edges of the feet and then try to pull my thighs towards each other like I'm squeezing a ball. And this creates a really strong tone through the muscles of the legs. I'm trembling a little bit. I'm working it so hard. So it makes a forward bend very active and therapeutic. Rise up to the tips of your fingers. Inhale. And walk your hands forward to the front of the mat, pivoting into your lunge pose. Sweep the arms up. Come to crescent pose. Inhale the arms up overhead. Exhale, bring your palms together to your heart, and let's take a deeper twist. Bring the left elbow outside of your right thigh. Press palms together in a prayer position. Draw the lower belly back away from your thighs, and enjoying the twist. Unwind, bring your hands down to your mat. Look forward, step forward, left foot next to right. Bend the knees softly, gaze forward, inhale. Exhale, we'll step the right foot back into a lunge. Right hand to the inside of the left foot, circle the left arm up to the sky, coming into a twist. Gaze up towards your thumb, or gaze down towards the mat. Actually enjoying that gazing down option today. So here, stretch wide through your shoulders, opening through the front and back body as you twist and spiral through your torso. And then take your left hand down to the inside of your foot. Walk a quarter of the way around to your wide-legged forward bend. Inhale to the tips of your fingers. Exhale, shift your weight back. And now walk your hands out in front of your shoulders so you have a full extension through your arms. And your arms are reaching out at the same diagonal line as your spine. See if you can lift all your toes from the mat so most of your weight is back in your heels. Inhale, lengthen through the sides of your waist, the front of the belly, the lower spine. Exhale, move your hips up and back. Your fingertips are walking forward and holding on to the ground. And the breath is deep, steady, connected. Good. And slide your hands back. Come up halfway. Walk your hands to the front of the mat, pivoting into your lunge. Root into your feet. Inhale, rise up to your crescent pose, reaching to the sky. Exhale, palms meet together at your heart and twist right elbow outside of the left thigh. Coming into prayer, twisting lunge. Turning through your torso. I've been playing with allowing the back hip to drop rather than staying level, and opening through the opposite shoulder. Allows for a fuller spiraling action through the whole torso rather than jamming into any particular area of the spine. Unwind. Take your hands down to the mat Gaze forward, step forward to Uttanasana. Inhale up to the tips of your fingers. Exhale and fold weight back into your heels. Inhale, rise all the way. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your hands together to your heart. Let's work with tree pose. So bring your left knee to your chest, hands to your waist. Lift through your left knee, root through your right heel. Then open your hip, externally rotating. Bring your left foot to the right inner thigh, or lower leg or ankle if you're feeling a little unsteady today. Bring your palms together at your heart. Press in through your foot, left foot. Press in through your right thigh. Press in through both hands. Inhale, reach the arms up overhead. And then open the arms slightly so the shoulders open and come down away from your ears. Good. Then open your arms out directly to the side, palms turned upwards. Turn the palms down and imagine you're pushing against a solid surface. So the shoulder blades come strongly to the back of your rib cage. Keep that steadiness through the shoulders. Release your left foot and bring your knee towards your chest. From here, move into a version of Virabhadrasana 3. Keep that steadiness in your upper body, pushing your palms down against that imaginary surface. Coming into Virabhadrasana 3. Left inner thigh rising, lifting, toes turning downwards towards the floor. Take a breath. Enjoy the shape. And then bend your right knee. Glide a little closer to the earth. Keep that left leg lifted. And then bend the right knee even more. Step your left foot back. Coming to a crescent pose. Reach the arms up to the sky. Inhale. And bring the palms together to your heart. Open into Warrior 2. You can heel toe that back foot further back so you have a nice long stance. From here, turn the right palm up. Reverse your warrior, sliding down the back leg. Nice stretch through the side body. Then exhale, spin the hands down to the mat. Lift the right leg up and back, three-legged dog pose. Exhale, come forward to Chaturanga. Inhale, rise up, Cobra pose. Exhale, push back, down dog. Gaze forward to your hands. Lift up through your hips. You can waggle your tail a little bit side to side. And then bend your knees, gaze forward, hop or step forward. Rise to the tips of your fingers. Exhale, deepen your fold. Inhale, rise all the way. Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Hands come to your waist. Root into your left heel. Reach your right knee up. And feel that opposition, right knee rising, left heel rooting. Externally rotate through your hip. Bring your right foot to your left thigh, calf or ankle. Press into the midline with your foot and thigh and with your hands in prayer position. With the next inhale, reach the arms up. And then separate the hands a little wider than your shoulders. Spread through your fingers, letting light in through the spaces between your fingers. And then open your arms out to the sides of your shoulders. And actively turn your palms down, pushing against an imaginary solid surface. Feel the muscles all around your shoulder blades engage. Keep that engagement. Bring your right foot or right knee towards your chest. Flex your foot. Lean forward. As you reach your foot back to Virabhadrasana 3, keep that steadiness and engagement in your shoulders, shoulder blades to the backs of your ribs. Lift through the right inner thigh. Take a breath here. And with your exhale, bend your standing knee. Keep your right leg floating, floating, floating as you glide closer to the earth. Pause. Then step back into your lunge. Reach the arms up. And then open up into your warrior 2. Readjusting your stance. Reverse your warrior. Left arm reaching up overhead. Right hand really lightly touching your back leg. And spin your hands down to your mat. Lift the left leg up, 3-legged dog pose. Come forward on your exhale to 3-legged chaturanga. And then rise up to cobra pose. Inhale. And exhale, push back. Down dog. From down dog, bend your knees, gaze forward, hop or step your feet forward. Rise up to the tips of your fingers and exhale. Bend your knees, take them wide. Let's go into crow pose. You see a lot of crows flying around here. They're really spectacular. So we'll be crows in the nature. Squeeze your knees to your upper arms. Curl through your upper back. Bring your head forward and float your feet up from your mat. You can kick your heels up high, or you can just play with lifting one foot at a time. Just seeing what's possible today. Practice changes every day. Chaturanga with your next exhale. Inhale, rising up, cobra pose. And exhale, push back to down dog. And from down dog, just take a couple breaths, inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. And climb up high onto the balls of your feet. Bend your knees. Gather momentum, strength by bending your knees, bouncing a little bit. And then gaze forward, hop or step your feet forward. Rise to the tips of your fingers. Inhale, exhale, and fold. Inhale, rise all the way, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, bring your palms together at your heart. Back to a standing pose, so bring your hands to your waist, root into your right heel, lift your left knee up. Let's work with eagle, so cross your left thigh high across the right. And bend your standing knee a little deeper to take the double cross. Left arm underneath the right arm, crossing at the wrists and elbows. Squeeze in through your lower legs and squeeze in through your upper arms. At the same time, try to separate your upper thighs and separate the upper arms. Either stay in this upright position or shift your weight back into your right heel, hinging deeper at your hips to bring your elbows forward and in front of your knees. Find a steady gaze, soft yet focused. Squeeze your legs together as you rise up. Keep the arms crossed. Release the cross of your legs and bring your left knee towards your chest. Keep your arms crossed and shift into Warrior 3 variation with the eagle arms. And bend your standing knee. Step back into your crescent pose. Keep the arms crossed as you bring your spine upright. And then unwind your arms. Push the palms together, wrists crossed, elbows wide. Open into warrior two and release the arms wide. Reverse your warrior, sliding down your back leg. Then come into Parsvakonasana. Bring your forearm to your thigh. Sweep the left arm over your head. And you're welcome to stay here in this variation or bring the left arm around your back for the half bind. Or bow forward a bit and come into the full bind, taking a hold of your fingers or holding your left wrist. And then reopening, tucking the right tailbone under or right sit bone under and opening through the left shoulder. I'm enjoying the sunshine on my face. Imagine you too are enjoying the warm sunshine on your face. It's really lovely. Okay. Look down towards the mat. Release your arms, straighten your legs, come into triangle pose. Unfolding. Keeping your gaze down to the mat, if you wish. You can also gaze upwards towards the sky. Open through the shoulders. Right hip will tuck under, left hip opens up. And then reach the left arm over your head. A little fuller stretch through the side body. Then exhale, bend your right knee, circle both hands down to the mat, either side of your front foot. Gaze forward, lift up to three-legged dog pose, right leg to the sky. Let's open it up, right hip stacked over left. Bend your knee, reach for your foot, or reach through your foot into wild thing. Pivoting and opening through your hips, your belly, your heart, your throat. Then come back over into your three-legged dog pose. Right leg to the sky. And it stays high as you come forward into plank and chaturanga. And maybe upward dog this time. Lifting knees and thighs, soft through the elbows. Move back to down dog. Climb up high on the balls of your feet. Bend your knees. Float or step forward. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, shift your weight back into your heels to bow. Inhale, rise, Urdhva Hastasana, reaching to the sky. Exhale, bring your palms together to your heart. Take a moment. And bring your hands down to your hips. Bring your right knee up for eagle pose on the second side. Bend your standing knee to cross your thighs, crossing high as you can at your thighs. I'm going to shift a little bit. I'm standing on a rock. Okay. So you cross your thighs. You cross your lower legs. And then bring your right arm underneath your left. Squeeze through the arms, your forearms. Open through your shoulders. Squeeze through your lower legs and spread your sit bones a little bit wider. On your next exhale, hinge deeper at your hips. Keep your lower back really long and lean forward, perhaps bringing the elbows over your knees. Now keep your arms crossed, rise back up, unwind your legs. Bring your right knee towards your chest and lean forward, coming into your variation of your Vajrasana 3. Oops, here it goes. It's okay. And bend your standing knee. Step back into your crescent pose. Unwind at your elbows. Keep your wrists crossed. And press the palms together, elbows and shoulders wide. From here, open into Warrior Two, and release your arms wide. Reverse your warrior, sliding back. And exhale, bring your forearm to your thigh, sweep the right arm over your head, Parsvakonasana. And either staying here or bring the forearm around your back, half bind. Or bow forward to take hold of fingers or right wrist. Coming into the full bind, open up through the right shoulder as you tuck under through the left hip. And you can gaze down to your mat and release your arms. Come into triangle pose, extending through the front knee. Opening wide across the collarbones. And to get a deeper stretch through the side body, reach the right arm over your head. Full stretch. And bring both hands down to the mat. Come into a lunge. And lift the left leg up behind you to three-legged dog. Open up through your hip. Reaching out through your foot, left knee bent. And flip it open into wild thing. Catching the ball of your foot to the earth. And using the strength through your legs to lift and reach. Opening through belly and heart and throat. And then come back over to your three-legged dog pose. Exhale to chaturanga. Inhale to upward dog. And then exhale, move back to downward dog. Come down to all fours. Find your neutral spine by first doing a few cat-cow poses, articulating through flexion and extension. And then you find your neutral spine. Lift the left leg back behind you. Lift the right arm up. Coming back to that bird dog pose that we started with. And then reach your right hand to your left foot. Holding your foot. Push back. Foot into hand. And gaze forward. Enjoying this opening across the front of the right shoulder. And then release. Reach the hand forward, reach the foot back. Take your right hand down to the mat and the left knee down. And switch sides. Right leg back and left arm forward. Reach the left hand to the right foot. Holding to your foot as you push back and open through the left shoulder. Gaze forward. Okay. And release your foot. Reach forward, reach back. And exhale, take your hand down, take your knee down. Let's do one more down dog to even out the spine. Take your feet wide as your mat. Turn your toes slightly in. And bend both knees. Getting that freedom, that lift through hips and lower back. Good, and then straighten your legs. Pivot your feet so they're parallel again. And come down to your knees. Keep your knees really wide. Bring the big toes together. Shift back to child's pose. Walk the hands forward. And rest your forehead on the mat. You can push into the pads of your fingers to keep the shoulders engaged on your back, shoulder blades hugging into the backs of the ribs. Good. And then bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Inhale to rise up. And we'll sit in a variation where the left foot comes towards the right thigh and the right knee is bent. The foot comes back behind your hip. And from here, bring your left hand to the outside of your thigh, right hand to your right thigh. Inhale, lift the right hip up and rotate through your spine, gazing back over the left shoulder. And then lower the right hip back down, gaze over your right shoulder. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling, lifting through the right hip, turning, spiraling through the whole spine, turning through your neck and looking over the left shoulder. Exhale, sit down through the right hip, and the rest of the spine follows, looking over your right shoulder. One more of those, lifting through the right hip, spiraling through your torso, looking back. Sit down through the right hip, and spiral through your torso, looking over the right shoulder. And let's do one more. So lift the right hip, walk your hands to either side of the left knee, and reposition yourself into pigeon pose. So you may just need to move your knee out a little bit wider to the side and turn your hips forward. I like to keep the back toes tucked. And walk down onto your forearms, or use blocks if you have those at home. And maybe rest all the way down onto your thigh or your leg, or stay propped up. And you can shift your torso a bit from side to side. After a couple breaths, it may be possible to go a little lower. Push into the mat, into the ground, and bring yourself upright. And let's switch to the other side. So you'll bring your right foot towards the left thigh. The left knee will be bent. And left foot folds back behind your hip. Left hand to your thigh, right hand to the outside of your right thigh. Lift through the left hip and spiral open through the whole spine, turning, gazing back over the right shoulder. And then sit down through your left sit bone and turn, spiral through your torso, looking back over your left shoulder. Lift left hip, opening through the spine, turning back over the right shoulder, and then sit down through the left hip and look back over the left shoulder. One more, lifting up through the left hip, turning open, and gazing back over your right shoulder, and then sit down through the left hip and turn, looking back over the left shoulder. Lift through the left hip and reposition yourself for pigeon pose. Using the earth, push into the earth, open the right knee out to the side a bit more, and then keep the back toes tucked. Curl up for a breath and walk your hands forward, resting on your hands or your forearms. I hope you can hear the bird song on this video. They're beautiful here. All different kinds of birds chirping and clicking in the trees. Okay, if there's some space left, you can come on down a little closer for the next And last couple breaths in this pose. And bring your hands to your mat. Press down into the mat and lift to your last down dog. And alternately bend one knee then the other knee, pedaling through your feet and your ankles, your knees, and your hips. Come up onto the balls of both feet, tippy toe your feet forward to the top of your mat. And then take the feet wide. Turn the toes out. Come down into Malasana. Palms meet together at the heart. And then take a seat in Malasana. And we'll do one happy baby pose. Knees wide, feet wide. And rock yourself side to side. You can rock to the left and extend the left leg more straight. And then rock to the right and extend the right leg more straight. And then come back to the center and take a deep, very deep, full breath. And bring the knees together and ankles together. Give yourself a nice squeeze, a nice deep embrace. You can even lift your head and bring your nose towards your knees. And then lower the head back down. Bring the knees to the left. Open the right arm out at a diagonal. And take a little twist. And then bring both hands to your belly. Bring your right knee up. And left knee follows. Lower the knees to the right. And open your left arm out at a diagonal. And bring your left arm all the way over your face. Curl over to your right side completely. Use your hands on the ground to bring yourself up to a seated position. Okay. So now find a comfortable seat, and I'm going to do the same. What I will do is step behind the camera, so I'll be facing in the same direction as you, and we'll meditate together for a few minutes. So find your seat, and you can fold yourself a nice little blanket or cushion, or sit up against the wall if it feels more comfortable to have that support. And take a few moments to get yourself settled. With the eyes very softly open, gazing through your lashes. And feel the quality of your breath. And the sensations through your body. Attending to the sensations of your body from the rise and fall of your breath. And the expansion as you inhale. And the softening as you exhale. As you attend to this breath and attend to the sensations in your body, feel the breath deepen. Allowing the breath to take you deeper in and allowing the breath to take you deeper out. And there is a sense of being able to go further and further in with each exhale. Further and further out with each inhale. And also the reverse. Further out with each exhale. Further deeper in with each inhale. As within, so without. Receiving the breath, receiving the world, receiving yourself. And also sharing the breath, your life, yourself. Sharing with the world. Acknowledging this interconnection. Honoring with deep reverence the interconnection, the relationship we have with ourselves, with each other, and with the natural world. Honoring the beauty within and the beauty all around you. The light within you in your deepest heart. And the light within all beings. And the light that radiates and shines and illuminates this whole world. It is with deep reverence that I bow to you from my heart to your heart to the one heart. Namaste. I invite you to unfold your legs, to find your way into Shavasana, and to allow yourself a deep rest, if only for a few moments, to receive and integrate this practice. Thank you so much for joining me on these practices from the road. Blessed be.